Thanks very much, and it's really a pleasure to be here, and thanks very much for having me. I think in the different panels this morning, a lot has been said about energy and also about the way forward. Focusing more, what I wanted to talk about today in the opening thoughts was focusing more on the recovery and resilience facility. It has come up this morning in different aspects, and especially also that it has been a great help for Greece. And looking overall what we have done with the recovery and resilience facility, it really has focused completely on the right issues. Therefore, this focus on the green transition with at least 37% of spending on the green transition was really a good preparation in order to really move forward here. Overall, looking at the plans, 200 billion euros out of 455 billion euros of the plans approved are being spent on green measures, energy efficiency and renovation, which is really important because the best energy is the energy which is not being consumed, is among the highest there with 51 billion euros in nearly all the plans. For clean power and energy and network, this is 29 billion euros, therefore really a lot. Looking at the Greek plan, there is the new RES account in there where it doesn't have such a relevance today given the high market prices. But for example, in the plan for Bulgaria approved in May, we have 3.5 gigawatts of new renewables which are implemented via the plan, therefore really a lot higher capacity than the overall lignite capacity in Bulgaria. And then, of course, strengthening of networks in order to accommodate the renewables. One particular issue is hydrogen. Hydrogen, overall, we have quite a lot of projects. 17 member states are having that in the plan, an overall investment volume of 10 billion euros, and it's really across the value chain with a focus on electrolyzers, and there it's roughly 2.1 gigawatt of electrolyzers being financed by the plan. Then, of course, these are the plans, and as they stand, in May we have, the Commission has adopted Repower EU, and Repower EU in relation to the recovery and resilience facilities is dealing in a way with two broad objectives. The first one is to accelerate the green transition, accelerate the decarbonization, therefore reducing the demand for fossil fuel and thereby also for Russian fossil fuel. And the second broad objective is to diversify away from Russian fossil fuel, especially gas. For the first one, and I have to, also after the panels this morning, I have to say this is the focus of the whole exercise, and Commissioner Schinas was mentioning that overall 300 billion euros are being dedicated to that from the plans, and this is really in order to accelerate the green transition. And the measures are the increasing of the renewables targets. All is being built up on the Fit for 55 package, therefore further renewables being included in the RRPs. The energy efficiency also being increased and being included in the RRPs. Coming back to the renewables, also the Commission has adopted certain, let's say, soft measures like the solar strategy, especially fostering rooftop solar, but also the with regard to permitting, and that this has been an issue, has been mentioned several times this morning. It has adopted a strategy to accelerate the permitting and especially also the grid connection. And if you look through it, it's really a blueprint which could be used for the Repower EU chapter, which are going to come in the revision of the plans in terms of reforms. And then, of course, the third element is also the strengthening of the renewables hydrogen strategy and the improvement of networks. And we have seen that for quite a number of member states that the improvement of the networks is essential in order to accommodate the further build-up of renewables. Then coming to the second point, and this is the shifting of supplies, and for that, of course, also more infrastructure is needed. We have heard this morning a number of times that really the focus should be at the moment on LNG in the short term, but also for that, certain new infrastructure is needed. Therefore, the interconnectors, and we have heard for Greece that on Friday the IGB, therefore the interconnector to Bulgaria, will be open, and that is very, very welcome. If there is a build-up of new infrastructure, we still have to build it together with the 2015 decarbonization objectives. Therefore, this will not be a program for building a lot of new infrastructure, but only so much it's needed. And this is also enshrined in the proposal of the Commission for the amendment of the RF regulation. Therefore, the infrastructure should serve the immediate security of supply needs, and it should be in the interest of the Union as a whole, therefore not only in the interest of one specific company. And very few words on Greece, if you allow me. Then if you look at Greece and the implementation of the energy measures in the RRF, Greece has made really big progress in that. We have had one payment request which has already been dispersed in April, and it had a number of energy measures, therefore the launch of the energy renovation, the first tender wave, therefore the energy poverty action plan, and the framework for the installation of the electric vehicle charging infrastructure. In the next payment request, there will be even more, and the renewables law, which has already been adopted, is part of the RRF. The introduction of demand response is also part of the plan, and therefore we very much welcome once it's up and running and in full speed. Then the dedicated framework for offshore wind is also then coming up in the next payment request, and then the finalization of the framework for the rehabilitation of the former lignite plants. Therefore, the message is there, really focus on the implementation. We see, of course, a lot of movement, but really what still needs to be done is the focus on the implementation of the measures which have been agreed in the plan. And then what's coming up, we think that a hydrogen framework would really be very much welcome. A focus on biomethane would be welcome. And then, of course, for natural gas, further infrastructure is already included in the chapter on Repower EU, especially the expansion of the IGB interconnector to Bulgaria. And overall, Greece is in a fantastic position to be a gas hub for the Southeastern Europe and to develop that role in the future. And from the Commission side, we are very ready to continue discussing with Greece in order to make that happen and overall to really continue with the decarbonization.